In the case of local governments area of decontamination, the progress is as follows. In 104 municipalities, to a certain extent, plans have been formulated. For Fukushima Prefecture, in 33 municipalities, some kind of plan is formulated, and for some municipalities, the actual decontamination work has been started. As for the cost needed for decontamination, first of all, the government, national government, will allocate the budget, and at the later stage, ask TEPCO to compensate. Going into conclusion, decontamination work is already started. We are encountering many problems. One is to do with the planning itself. We need to prioritize for decontamination, but how to set the priorities have proved to be problematic. And also, where to select the locations and target setting. There are also technical challenges. There are limits to what we can do right now. On the other hand, the residents in Fukushima Prefecture, they have very high expectations. So how to respond from technological point of view to their expectations, this is a difficult challenge. And through decontamination, there will be enormous amount of the waste to be disposed of. How to select the sites for temporary stockyard or the location for incinerators. Nobody wants to have these to be located in nearby or in their backyard. So the siting proves to be very challenging. Now, to have a storage on the site as much as possible near the site is allowed by the law, by the act. So bit by bit, I believe we are seeing progress for the storage. Now, lastly, the communication challenge, how to build the trust. And the base for sharing the knowledge on radiation, this is still the missing. And for the affected people, how will we be able to communicate with them in an effective manner? There are many challenges still remaining. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Makia. That was an explanation on the central government's system for decontamination and the challenges faced. Next, I will call upon Mr. Masanitsu Kogota, Senior Policy Administrator of Environmental Recovery Sector, Social Affairs and Environment Department of Fukushima Prefectural Government. Mr. Kogata will speak about Fukushima's prefectural initiative. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to describe to you our initiative. And I take this opportunity to thank everyone to the kind support that you have given to us to the affected areas on the occasion of the Great East Japan earthquake. 1 year and 4 months have passed since the event in Fukushima Prefecture. Because of the disaster, 160,000 people are still forced into evacuation outside their original homes, and 60,000 people had to go outside of the Fukushima Prefecture. And even those who have not yet been evacuated, mainly the families with children, are exposed to health risks because of their exposure to radioactive material, and they continue to pursue a life being exposed to such risk. And at the moment, the activity that is given highest priority is decontamination, and mechanism of decontamination and the actual central government's initiative have already been mentioned by Mr. Makia, so I will take this opportunity to explain what initiatives the prefectural government is taking for decontamination. This is the map of Fukushima and the actual situation of zoning. The orange area is the area where the central government will conduct a decontamination, and the yellow shaded portion is the area where the municipalities will take the main initiative, where municipalities will make the plans themselves to pursue contamination. And the green shaded area is the area where the dosage is below 1 millisievert per year. So there are some hotspots within the green area, and therefore decontamination in the green shaded portion will concentrate on the hotspots. And if municipalities are to be responsible, then they have to be designated as the priority survey area. And as was already mentioned, 41 villages within Fukushima have been designated as such, which is described in the red line. Hamadori, Nakadori, all villages surrounding those main streets, and in the Aizu area, the central villages within the red circle are designated. And after they've been designated, the municipalities that have made plans are 33, according to Mr. Makiya's presentation. But in fact, already 35 villages have come up with decontamination plans. And of the 35 municipalities with decontamination plans, there are 30 villages that have begun to implement those plans. However, the degree of implementation differ village by village, and there is a significant gap in the degree of implementation. Now, more specifically, what are the substantive actions taken for the sake of decontamination? And the target facilities, first of all, would be schools or nursery schools, kindergartens, parks, other public facilities that have been targeted. Those have been the priority targets. So of the 30 villages, 26 villages are beginning to decontaminate these areas. And next priority area would be orchards and farmlands, agricultural lands, and there are 20 villages that have begun, and residents. 13 villages have begun decontamination of housings, residences. The central government initiative have already been mentioned by Mr. Makiya, so I will skip the explanation on the central government initiative. So these are the mechanism of decontamination that is stipulated by law. But other than this, there are other initiatives taken to reduce dosage for children. And since August last year, the Residents Association and PTAs have been conducting various decontamination measures, and the prefectures have begun to offer subsidies for those volunteer groups that are on a spontaneous basis conducting decontamination. So fundamentally, it is the municipalities, the villages, that are playing the central role for decontamination, but it's impossible for them to target wide coverage. So for areas where exposure is low, dosage is low, they ask for spontaneous cooperation by the PTAs and Residents Association for their voluntary work. And so those civil societies are also working together with the public municipalities to proceed with decontamination. And secondly, the prefecture and central government is collaborating on some of the initiatives. And in the next slide, I will describe the joint initiatives taken by the central and prefectural government. Decontamination Information Plaza is one of the projects. This Information Plaza is to offer information because decontamination is something new for municipalities. And in order to promote decontamination activities at these localities, we have to offer knowledge and information on dosage and decontamination. So we tap on the expertise of experts to support the information side. And that had been one suggestion made to us. So the central government and ourselves in the prefecture are jointly working together to second experts to the local districts